A week into lockdown in New Zealand. Um, yeah, just wondering how everybody is going, how the homeschooling's going, how the uh, being with people 24/7 is going. And we've been here before, but yeah, this is something to remind us again to take time to care for ourselves. The internet's not working for Instagram. It's okay. Poor connections. If someone's watching me in Facebook, thank you for watching today. Welcome to Wednesday Wellness Workshops. And we're talking today about how we come out of the fog, like the fog of our thoughts and emotions that we may have around what's happening with COVID, how we can get easily attached to those thoughts of uncertainty of the future or regret about the past, regret that we're not going to be able to do things. Like a friend of mine's daughter's having her 16th birthday today. Abby will have her birthday next week in lockdown. So, how we can come out of that fog of thoughts and emotions. And so, just done my yin yoga class, and yeah, we did some a way of gestures that we can do. So, we're talking today about SOAR. So, SOAR is our definition of mindfulness. So, if you put your hands out, so there's no one to see. And what we're holding in our hands, if you put your hands out, is that we're holding that life gets lifey. So, in our hands, COVID and all the complications it's brought, we have 7 people in our house at the moment, lots of caregiving roles in our house with 3 children and 2 grandparents. Yeah, uncertainty around when we were going to be going back and around jobs. So that's the life getting lifey. And then what we do around life getting lifey is that we start to react to it. So we start to resist it. So if you bring your hands into fists, we don't want it to be as it is. We fight it. We kind of, even in the midst of COVID and everything, I strive to get things achieved and trying to form my business and making unrealistic expectations about what I can do when I'm trying to homeschool a 9-year-old and trying to get my stuff done. So we strive, and then we also beat ourselves up. And what happens when we do that is that we get caught into our thoughts. So what happens is that our thoughts, all those thoughts, those resisting thoughts, those striving thoughts, all of that, um, the inner critic, the beating up, means that our thoughts are really fused to us, and we may feel that as tension in our body or that fog of our mind. And so, yeah, we go around in our lives, and what happens when we are like this? We can't really see clearly, we can't really be in the moment to hug our children, to communicate effectively, to our partners, to not go off at our kids that we're homeschooling. And so, what we're needing to do is to come into the present moment. So, this is the SOAR acronym, the SOAR that we use, our Micro-mindfitness skill that we use all the time in micro and mindfulness yin yoga and the coaching and the courses. So, we come to our senses. Sorry, I've still got my fist in front of here. To come into the present moment to anchor ourselves. So, if you're here in this position, taking a deep breath, feeling our feet on the ground, maybe hearing the birds singing. I just saw 2 kangaroos soaring by, the smells, maybe even that 3 things that you can notice. That brings you into the present moment, but you still have these thoughts and emotions right up here on your face. So, what we need to do is to create some space for them. So, we observe them like a curious scientist. So, we bring them down in front of us and we observe them. So, we give them that space. So, it's like observing them down a microscope or putting our thoughts onto a stage and observing them. There's a lot of different ways of observing them. Sometimes observing our thoughts and our emotions like they are a piece of art on the wall. So that brings us that space, if you can see. And then we're looking at them and then we're accepting them. So we also talk about the gardens of our minds. We come to our gardens, we observe the gardens for all the weeds and the flowers and the insects, and we just accept. So we're looking at them and we're accepting them. So that's the A of SOAR. S, the senses, O, the observing, and the A of the accepting. But what we also need to do is we also need to release those thoughts. So we need to release the resistance, release the striving as much as we can, as much as we are possible to do, and release that inner critic. So that judging thoughts. So as much as we are able to diffuse from them, to release. So what do you feel like the difference between when we're resisting things, striving, and that inner critic, and then we let go, we release those thoughts. So we're letting it go to let it be with SOAR. So we can use SOAR as an acronym every day when we're homeschooling our kids, when we're caregiving for a lot of different people, when tempers start to get a little bit frayed because we're always in each other's space, we can use the acronym of SOAR. So just remind yourselves to stop, come to your senses with S. Give yourself some space to observe your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, and then accept it as much as you can. Sometimes the acceptance is just you're looking outside and kind of acknowledging the visitor of acceptance outside the door. Sometimes you're letting the acceptance inside the door. Sometimes you're giving the acceptance is giving that emotion a cup of tea with kindness. So the acceptance is as much as you can, as you are able, and then the R is releasing and letting go of those thoughts. And there are lots of strategies and ways that we can do that called cognitive diffusion. So putting those thoughts in clouds, letting them go, just being aware of letting them go, um, with the thoughts of that inner critic, thinking of that inner critic like a dance partner and changing your partner to your inner compassionate coach. So, yeah, today it's all about mindfulness and mindfulness in action. Um, every time I see a Kiryu, I love seeing the soar of that. And so the soar is we let it go and we let it be. So that's the part of the garden of the mind. And we're going to be starting to talk about the next part, which is the soaring part. So when we let it go and we let it be, we get out of our habitual patterns of reacting, maybe comfort eating during these times, maybe like me getting really quite short with my 9-year-old who is not doing the homeschooling quite as he should. And so just stopping, becoming aware of our habitual patterns, and then asking ourselves, what do we need in this moment? So if you think of your hand, your other hand, of being, what do I need in this moment? It's like, do I need some kindness? And so if you feel what that feels like to hold what's happening with kindness, a little bit of support, or um, do I need gratitude? Do I need grit? Do I need courage? Do I need to set my boundaries? And then the I, the N, and the G is, so you've asked yourself what inner resource you need. This is to go soaring, which we'll talk about next week. And the N is to nourish it with all of your senses and give yourself 3 breaths to take in that sense of kindness and courage. So, yeah, so we've talked today about what is mindfulness, how do you come out of the fog? And yeah, so if you're wanting some free mind fitness yin yoga to talk about more of these micro mind fitness practices, then if you subscribe to YouTube, I've got free begin to yin yoga classes that I'm uploading each week. There's also some 30-minute classes there and more teachings about these micro-mindfitness strategies. And yeah, if you would like to find out more or to do some um, mind fitness, yin yoga classes, or coaching, I'm also going to be doing some courses, also do the mindful self compassion course as well. The website is www.mindfitnessdoctor.co.nz, my new website. So thank you for those of you that came in to watch today, and hopefully see some of you on the replay.